Thanks for staying with us on Consider This. I'm Melisa Idris. I'm speaking tonight to Gurmit Singh, Chairman of the Centre for Environment, Technology and Development Malaysia, Cetdem, as well as Tina Carmillia, science journalist and science communicator. And I want to throw this question to you, Tina, because at the end of the day, if we're trying to get, trying to rally the troops, it's important that we have the conversations right. And a large part of that is the media, right? Is the media creating the right narratives in the conversation about climate change and environmental awareness? Where do you see some of the gaps?
I think we are slowly moving towards that direction.
Okay.
If I could quote a couple of examples.
Sure.
For example, the BBC only last year decided through a staff briefing that to have a conversation about climate change, you don't need to have a climate denier. Only last year.
Because the BBC has something called they have to have two sides.
But
two sides of the
creating
story.
false balance, and I think every journalist in journalism school learn about false balance.
Yeah, so you can't have a climate change scientist next to a climate science denier.
Correct,
right?
because the science is clear. And what they in their briefing to the staff, they said that it's like football. If Manchester United won 2-0 last Sunday, you don't need a denier to deny the scoreline, right? So if the science is clear, then the science is clear. The Guardian has also made several changes to the editorial policies around climate change. They have chosen stronger words like using climate crisis, climate breakdown, climate emergency, rather than climate change.
Because semantics are important.
Correct.
That's how we change the conversation.
Exactly.
Gurmit, where do you see the gaps, especially in local media reporting? I just want to point out to Malaysia Kini's excellent report on Sungai Kim Kim, which I thought was fantastic. This is a long-form piece, data-driven, a multimedia composition by Malaysia Kini, and really highlighted the issue of the lapses in environmental protection within that area. What about your assessment of what the media has been doing this year?
Generally, the media has been bad on environment. I remember all the days of the BN that I was blacked out when we were depending on mainstream media. It's only social media appearing on the scene that has broken through the thing, that has actually made the difference. And I agree with Malaysia Kini, but one thing on Sungai Kim Kim, I found that they really didn't address the issue was, why was it that only the children on the second floor onwards were being affected? The children down below were not being affected by the air pollution. And all these people were doing measurements at the ground level. There was something wrong. I still think nobody has been able to answer my question on Sungai Kim Kim. Why would children who were being hospitalized and all that from the second floor onwards of the school?
What do you hypothesize?
I suspect there must have been a gas lighter than air, which they were not monitoring.
Okay, well...
things like that, they should raise that issue itself. But that struck me as odd. I asked the director, one of the ex-DOE people also, he couldn't answer me the question.
Is it difficult to get data and information and
this
answers?
Has been the biggest problem in Malaysia all my life.
Okay,
yes, even outside of Malaysia, I've covered the COP, I've covered the several UN conventions, and chasing after the Malaysian delegation for comments is an impossible task.
Why is that so difficult? Why is it so sensitive?
The OSA, I'm totally opposed to the OSA. It should be done away with, because everything
that's
is
fair.
in the OSA.
There are state secrets and there are state secrets, right? So this is for the benefit
Mahathir
for people.
himself has said, you have a Right to Information Act.
Exactly, Freedom of Information Act.
Freedom of Information Act.
And so what are we missing when we don't have the information?
Then you make the wrong decisions.
Exactly.
Or you make decisions blindly.
Exactly.
Okay.
And I've been groping blindly right from the first day when I identified pollution in the Klang River. Nobody took it up for a long time.
Right.
That was 1975. And they didn't release any government report. And the university is only starting studying it 10 years after the road.
Is there a distrust of the data? I mean, like whatever data we have right now, is there a certain level of distrust?
I generally don't trust government data.
Okay. And then, so without it, what do we have then? I mean, unless independent researchers fork out an enormous amount of money to collect this data, it's going to be difficult for us to to have any kind of data. So I think maybe, at the end of the day, looking at working with government agencies and explaining the use of data for evidence-based policy making.
I think that's becoming now the sort of norm. They're trying to talk about put data on
Correct,
the
yeah.
website. Even when they produced the national report, they had problems getting data from each other.
Yeah.
Because, for example, Petronas wouldn't give his oil data unless they had a letter from the minister.
Oh.
And this was all the national accounting. Yeah?
Okay.
So even the other day, PJ complaining that they cannot get electricity use data from TNB, where they wanted to produce again the baseline also. So this problem will keep on going on, and so I think we have to keep on tackling. We have to get the data. There are efforts now being made, but I'm very distrustful of the speed at which.
One thing that has struck me is that for many of us, the climate change conversation is almost always tinged with some kind of pessimism and the cynical outlook that we can't do this. This party is not playing its role. This other party is not playing its role. All the while the world is burning around us. When we're trying to communicate that, how do we not lose that sense of hope that we're actually doing this, or we're fighting a fight that perhaps we can win? Tina, do you find that it's the conversation often becomes pessimistic?
Yeah, I think that's one thing that within the environmental journalism network we also recognize that, because we see our colleagues, especially the much more the more veteran ones,
who's been fighting for 40 years,
burning out or just they go into eco-anxiety, eco-depression, right? Which are because this general pessimism around the future of the planet, and I think. We're now trying to focus more on solution-based journalism. When we cover environmental stories, when we cover climate stories, yes, you're calling out the people responsible, the parties responsible. You are showing the gaps in the knowledge, the gaps in the action, but you're also focusing on the positive, on the solutions that some people have tried to come up with. And I think that that's a good balance. I mean, we don't have the silver bullet answer, we don't, but at least some focus on hope.
So,
and you see, Cetdem itself tries, we are set up organized, we don't campaign actually.
Okay.
We basically provide solutions. The first solution we provide is organic farming. We set up an organic farm and demonstrated its viability. Then we, on a house, we took our terrace house and made it energy efficient.
Oh, nice, okay.
And we produced solar panel, insulated the roof and all that. So we have sustainable solutions. And the trouble is the pickup is not there. We are disappointed with the pickup.
Pickup of the wider population in terms of
the number of people going with organic, government supporting organic, the energy efficient house. People come and look at the house, yes, then they don't go back and do anything because we retrofitted it for 100,000, which is the sort of price that my neighbors spend on renovating their house.
Renovating houses anyway, okay.
So we basically have been trying to do that, but it's quite tough.
What do you foresee as being a catalyst to pick up? Is it just better awareness? Do we need a campaign around this? Or just top-down government support?
Mixture. We have to try everything.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, we do, because with climate stories, the problem with the climate crisis is that it's a slow-burning issue. So it becomes like the frog in the boiling water. You
don't feel the temperature getting hotter,
comfortably, in this nice warm jacuzzi, you think, right? And here comes young Greta Thunberg poking you with a spatula saying, save yourself. And you feel that, why should I, right? Yeah, because I'm really comfortable right now. Exactly. Not realizing, not peeking out of the pot, seeing the temperature rising, to do anything about it, because it's a slow-burning issue.
But also, I think what has happened is now the evidence is becoming more clear, because weather extremes are very evident now.
Yeah.
And then weather extremes are the examples we were looking for. I remember 15 years ago when I went around the country talking about climate change, I couldn't give very many examples.
Yeah.
People asked me to give what examples? Now at least I can point to the weather changes, the floods, the droughts.
I mean, we can see this happening as we read the news
so
as well.
I think weather, climate is becoming obvious now, climate change.
It's unfortunate that has to come to this point before people start realizing it.
Right? Okay.
But now at least we have move. So that is why I'm still in the game.
And I hope you remain in the game, both of you. Thank you so much for all the good work that you've done and for being on the show today. It's been such a pleasure talking to you. I'm Melisa Idris. Unfortunately, that's all the time we have on this episode of Consider This, but I will be back with you same time tomorrow. I'll catch you then. Thank you for watching and good night.